NEPA has taken light too. They want to run the jam for me.
Okay, it's gone live. We are live now.
Okay, I've seen it.
Okay. My system are just frozen. That's what we need. Okay. Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Temitope Olodo, and it's a great you all here. Okay, let me just. So thank you so much for joining us. My name is Temitope Olodo, and today we're going to be having a discussion. And I have with me, Ambassador Roy. I have with me Mr. Oluwaseyi Julius, and I have with me Mr. Femi Aratokun. And I just want to thank you all for joining me. Let me give you an introduction into this discussion. If you are watching me right now, I want you to like this page. I want you to share it and tell your live on Facebook. And we're having this discussion, and we're looking at security challenges in Nigeria. And it's a great honor that I'm having with me Ambassador Roy, Mr. Oluwaseyi Julius, and Mr. Femi Aratokun, who are joining me live for this great discussion. And please, if you are watching at this point, like this page, share it, tell your friends, go live. We're having a discussion. I have the best people in the house, and we're looking at private security in Nigeria. We're going to look at COVID-19 and the video that you saw earlier, individual, and I'll be asking my guests their view about the ongoing tension in Oyo State as we speak. So if you're watching me right now, please like the page, share the page. Let's have this great discussion. People have started joining. Mr. Julius, Ms. Collins have joined us already. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, we have Mr. Ojo also joining us. We appreciate you for joining us. So now let me go straight to Ambassador for joining us. I really appreciate you. Please, what is your view about the ongoing situation in Oyo State? This gentleman, Mr. Sunday Adeyomi, I believe that's his name. He's more or less giving the Fulani community in Oyo State or Yoruba land, generally 7 days notice to quit. And yesterday was the climax, and a lot of people, lost their property, and there was chaos in the town. What is your view as a private security consultant, as somebody has been in the military? What is your view on this issue in Nigeria as we speak generally?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I want to believe that my audio is clear. Okay.
Yes, it's perfect.
Oh, excellent. Now, I'm happy that we have Mr. Femi online to come in from the side of personal security. If you look at this whole scenario unfolding, you remember that anytime we are working towards a political era, Nigerians will be in their think tank trying to manipulate the society, trying to whip up security situations, and in that course, they are negating to apply security solutions. And it wonders, it's a big wonder, because you see a lot of people playing within the rules, but violating rules of engagement. Okay, let's take the Yorubas for an example. In history of this country, at least I'm above 50 years old now, I recall that the Yorubas have a personal relationship with the Hausas. And this personal relationship is very relevant when it comes to national issues. Most times, the Yorubas and the Hausas, they agree to take a position. Like during the Civil War, they agreed to take a position to keep Nigeria as one. Now, if you look back to 2015 and this transition to this government that we have, the same ethnic group took positions together with the Hausas, and they have a hold of this country right now. We have Yorubas and Hausas that have held strong positions in this country. I'm saying this without fear of favor, because right from time, I have not been a political person, I've not been an ethnic person. Now, let us now look at the influx of the militia, the Fulani militia. Peradventure, there was a time that there was cattle rustling. Peradventure, as Mayeti Allah claims, there was need for them to protect themselves in unpoliced areas. Peradventure, they paid monies to the militias, Fulanis that came from Mali and wherever, or Nigeria, wherever, because nobody has shown the identity to show that these Fulanis are not Nigerians, the militia section. So now we have a business society. The business society is the herdsmen and the farmers community. These are very strong business communities that have kept this country together before we discovered oil. Now, if there are conflicts in a business society, a responsible government that respects the inflow of resources, that respects a vibrant economy, that respects cohabitation of deviant and various ethnic groups, tribal, religious groups, that respects all of this, that creates a balance for the economy to thrive, for people to live and enjoy the sanctity of life. That responsible government must make sure you create the enabling environment for businesses to run. So if you are a cattle rearer and that dynamic of your business need to move to the level where you now have ranching, the government is supposed to have a foresight Now, if we said waters at the Chad Basin was drying up, that is why the Fulani herdsmen are now going into areas that they will find pasture. The government has a department in Abuja that's supposed to look at all this, our ecology and agriculture and the dynamics of change of global statistics. They had no foresight in that direction. Now, if you look at the farmers, we don't want to talk yet. I know you will take us there on the COVID and all of that. Look at the farmers that cannot go to farm because of these conflicts. Look at the rising issues of the cost of onions. Then look at the threat to life of people living in their domicile homes, the homes of their ancestors. Look at that threat to life. And my concern and my worry is this: why will a government sit at Abuja and negotiate the insecurity bedeviling its own people with themselves? Certain persons have left the West, whether it is Osun or Oyo, anywhere you think that this crisis is brewing, they have moved to Abuja to start discussions. Those discussions are not for the people. Now the people have started to come out to agitate for their own peace and security. Now, either they are doing it wrongly or rightly, they are agitating for their peace and security. Don't forget that our political system in Nigeria, I don't know, is now getting to US. It's a system of thuggery. It's a system of building hooligans, emancipating them to positions of authority, and giving them the audacity to override security agencies. That's why you will see during the political campaign in Nigeria here, before this tenure came, hooligans come into the campaign ground, start shooting guns the way they like. And the police could not do jack. Journalists were shot, they were stabbed. Go to the north, you will see children of underage category voting at will, making videos of themselves while they were voting. And electoral officers, police officers, DSS posted to such places were handicapped. Why do you think they were handicapped? Because they know the godfathers of these hooligans that were emancipated to position of authority. And they know that if you touch one of the hooligans, you lost your job. So the security agencies have become a mockery to the positions that they hold. This answers that you see is just one of it, and I know we'll get there. So whilst we are doing our opening remarks, we should not forget that those that created this anarchy, those that developed these opportunities for people to go haywire at will, they are still in power. Either they are in PDP or APC or whatever, they are still in power. They still control the agencies that is supposed to attack all of these abuses. The judiciary has been locked up. They have no say. You remember the last chief judge that wanted to, before you know what's happening, people will start sharing money with the judges. We have found monies in the houses of judges. So many cases are in EFCC. So they will not judge the case that's it with EFCC. They will use it to hold you at ransom. So that when another judge wants to misbehave, he will see that, oh, this Onoge case is still on. Oh, I better mind myself. So the judiciary does not even have, it's a phone call that we use to adjudicate cases right now. So it's a big gap, Tope. It's a big gap.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ambassador Roy. Let me go to Mr. Femi Aratokun. Thank you so much for joining us today. No, you've had Ambassador Roy, and of course, we are expecting you to come in from your experience here in the United Kingdom. And the challenge I have, which is why I'm bringing you in here, is that you've been involved from a security perspective when it comes to football. And in the UK, when football match is about to be played, say like in West Ham and the other places, you found that the police will actually go and arrest the people that they know are hooligans who are going to start the riot, and at least keep them away so they could watch the football from their home. They don't need to even lock them up. They just leave them to start the football in their home. But we noticed that this man, whose name we have been given as Mr. Sunday, Adeyemo, he's come up. He said, "Oh, yes, he's going to. He's giving 7 days. He's giving the 7 days notice, and 7 days expired on Friday, and he went there. And it doesn't seem as if government have done anything to prevent this violence happening. So, Mr. Femi, from your perspective, what is your view about the ongoing situation in Oyo State, and what is your view on it, Mr. Femi?
Okay.
You can.
Mr.
Hello,
Mr.
can you hear me?
Thank you. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me better now?
Hello, Mr. Femi.
Can you hear me now?
There's a problem with the connection. So let me who is joined. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yes. Yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, that's fine. You see, the problem we're having in Nigeria today.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
The problem we're having in Nigeria today is not just a new problem. It's not even an old problem. Rather, it's a problem whereby we just don't care to look into how do we solve it. And I'll tell you why I've said this. Number one, Sunday Igboho, Chief Sunday Igboho, as being known and being called, gave a 7 days ultimatum. That is 168 hours. That he will go back to his own town or his own city, and he will come back to this same local town to come and evict the Seriki and some other Fulani headsmen terrorizing the community. Remember one thing I just said now. He gave 168 hours and he said it's 7 days. What did the government do? They did nothing. What did the member of the Security Council do? They did absolutely nothing. They just left it. So why are we shouting now? Why are we shouting? Why are we crying? And let's be honest with ourselves. People are dying. Ransoms are being paid one way or the other. No one is talking about it. Nobody to, we've not been able to hold anybody responsible for any of these atrocities. We keep shouting, headsmen, Fulani. Let us see it from a very good point. How many have we seen being arrested or being taken to court or being prosecuted? None. Now, Sunday Igboho is not a thug. This is just somebody that is just voicing out his own emotions, his own way of, let me protect my community. Where are the Amotekuns? Let us leave the police alone. Where are they? Where is the government of Oyo State Security Council? Where are the Obas? Where are the chiefs? We can't even see anyone. Now, Sunday seems to have done something that will trigger, I'm not calling it a political crisis or maybe ethnic clashes, but it's triggered something that we need to all wake up to and ask ourselves one simple question. What exactly are we doing? Do we have anything like security architecture in Nigeria that will protect lives and properties? The answer is no. N-O. Let me stop at that. Let us look at during the time of Babangida. Falaye, Chief Falaye happens to be one of the chief top security advisor to Babangida then. What do you think is happening to Falaye now and his family in Ondo State? They've turned that man to a complete lame dog. Not only him, chiefs, kings were just being kidnapped and being insulted anyhow. What exactly do you think the police commissioners are doing? Absolutely nothing. So if Sunday can come up with this kind of idea that, you know what, I will defend my community, is on the right thing to me. But the only problem is this: government ought to have probably called in and called the Seriki as well and look for a way to dialogue this very issue. Not just thinking of, let us go and arrest him. By arresting him, you are brewing and you are bringing up fire that you might not probably be able to contain at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Femi. In fact, one of the things that he said to the BBC Yoruba when he was interviewed was that all the kings in the local area are behind him, and he's been getting a lot of calls, which shows that there's a lot of things on the underground. Why government might be saying they are not in support of him and they want him arrested. The local community is the one getting more.
Mr. Tope, let me please come into that. You see, as we are talking right now, I know the government is probably listening to us, or perhaps they have their agencies looking or listening to what we're saying. Ambassador Roy, you've been in the military before, so you know how this business does work. What I'm saying is this: if Sunday Igboho can stand up, please, can anybody just tell me, what does it cost any of your Obas to come out and speak out or speak up? Does it cost them anything?
But that's exactly what, exactly, that's what I was saying. But he was speaking on BBC Yoruba, that's Mr. Sunday himself, and he said that he's not making any money from this, but that the Obas, the Yoruba Obas around have actually called on him to actually help them because they are not happy with the way the security operative have handled this case. So, in other words, the reason for the dead silence from, and we wait to be proved wrong, but the reason for the dead silence from the Obas is because deep down, they support what he is doing because they feel that they are scared. He said they don't want to lose their job. They don't want to be dethroned. So let me go to Mr. Sheyi now and say to him, Mr. Sheyi, you know, a lot of youth came out in the town when Mr. Shegun, when Mr. Sunday decided to go there yesterday, and a lot of youth came out and are supporting him. What can Nigerian government do to make sure that all these jobless youths, you know, are not getting involved in trouble, but rather are getting involved in productive things? Because at the end of the day, there are more youths than old people, and it looks as if anywhere there is trouble now, NSAS youth, slapping of policemen youth, knocking, using bottles of policemen youth. So what is your view on this? And please let's hear your view on how the youth view of this issue.
Good evening, sirs, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm a youth myself, and I've been observing with keen interest what have been going on in the nation, especially to the youth. Okay, let me take the NSAS issue as a case study. As we all know, majority of the people involved in the NSAS protest, they are the youth. Youth came out en masse to support the movement. So, according to your question, let me focus on the question. You are saying, what can the government do to engage the youth in order to stay away from trouble? Yeah, there are a lot of things the government can do, which number one among them is let the government engage the youth in a productive way, like setting them up. Okay, let's say skills acquisition centers. Get these guys off the streets. There are a lot of jobless youths on the street right now, and if they don't have any opportunity of making a living for themselves in a legitimate way, they can involve in criminality. Okay, now we said there are a lot of youth that came out supporting Mr. Sunday's action. Yes, that is true. Majority of the youth, they are jobless. We have graduates among them. And let me come in this aspect. I'm a criminologist. I study criminology and security studies. There are a lot of criminology graduates that are jobless. Now, what are government doing to bring these people on board? Maybe let's say in the police. How many slots are given to the criminology graduates? in the civil defense, in the army. But then, okay, I know of a couple of guys that applied for this Amotekun recruitment then. But majority of these guys are still on the street. These are people that have been exposed to criminal behavior, how to study criminals, types of crime, and all of that. If these people, if they don't use these skills they learned in school in a formal way, let's say in an employment setting by the government, let's say police for example, if these people with those skills and technological know-how, if they are not engaged, they can use it in another like another bad way. I hope you understand what I'm saying, sir. So
yes,
the
I agree
youth
with
need
you.
to be.
Well, let me even interject based on what you just said. Hold on, Mr. Sheyi, to be engaged. Let me ask you a question,
Okay.
because yesterday we had
Okay,
a
sir.
similar program, and some of the challenges and discussion that we had during that discussion was that Amotekun have actually lost the plot, in the sense that Amotekun was meant to be intelligent gathering kind of tool, and that even the people that they used, most of us did not even know when they started recruiting. So by the time they finished, by the time they were talking about Amotekun is coming on stream, they've already finished their recruiting. So most of the youths, like yourself, who have the skill set, we're not given that opportunity to be involved. And the training, there's a lot of things, and I know Mr. Femi will talk about that when I go next to him. The training itself was done by the police, which we said have a 40 training. Today, this morning, Nigeria, the chief, Inspector General of Police was on air saying that even the training of the police is very archaic. It's not catching up with reality. So, if I can ask you, have you ever been invited at any point to have a discussion with the police? Have you been invited by the DPO? Have you been invited by the Commissioner of Police? Or have you written to them to say, we want to have a discussion with you as youth on the ground? And are they giving you that audience? That's the question I want to ask you.
Okay, I've not been called upon by the police or by any security agencies. But on my platform, African Security Forum Nigeria, we are working on in that direction, at least to have the law enforcement agencies, the police, so we can have a like a collaboration with them.
Thank you so much for that. If you're watching this right now, I want you to like it, I want you to share it, and I want you to tell your friends that Ambassador Raw is live with us here. Mr. Femi Aratokun is live with us here. And we have Mr. Sheyi, the young man is here with us. He's taking a lot of steps. Like he was 8 and I was able to talk at this level, because he said it's only when you allow the young and the old to wash hands together that you are able to get a better society. Let me go back to Ambassador Roy. Ambassador Roy, this South can be the catalyst for chaos, if Southwest, if things are not managed. I remember vividly some few years ago that there was a crisis in Ife, and that crisis in Ife led to the expelling of the Yoruba, the Hausa community in Ife. Because what we'll notice is that once the South starts, it's very difficult. These boys will just go out, because they went after the Hausa community and they expelled them before the police got involved, and engagement. In fact, the Oni of Ife, the Okhidievbie had to get involved to be able to settle things down. And this guy, this Mr. Sunday that we're talking about, was involved in the Modakeke and Ife fight. And I remember that fight vividly, because I was in Nigeria in 1997, and I got caught up in that nasty civil war that went on for some few weeks, and I had to exit with a lot of bodyguard to protect me out of there. So what will be your advice to the new Commissioner of Police in Oyo State right now, the lady that come in, I think she's CP Ngozi? If you are to advise her right now as she's watching this program, what would be your advice to her on how to manage this crisis as we go ahead? to avoid it turning to a serious crisis, because the Arewa Consultation Forum have called for the arrest of Mr. Sunday, and the Yoruba Aferere have said that they are jokers. So we've seen two groups now, crushing their horns against each other, and we know that the ground might not be big enough to contain both of them. So what is your view, Ambassador Roy?
Well, thank you very much. Mr. Femi, thank you for your contributions. I have a lot of respect for you.
Can you hear me, Ambassador
with
Roy?
all you have put into in
Hello?
the Nigerian system.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Should I go on?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So, we have met Mr. Femi even the other time at the airport, how you were embarrassed, and we all went there together to the airport, and even the airport police could not do anything about it.
Sure,
and we are happy that you are still patriotic, because you come down every time to see what you can do with the security system. And that's
Yes.
a lot of money, a lot of sacrifice, and then we know that God alone will be the one to reward you. Now, let me talk about the Commissioner of Police, the advice you said I should give to her. The Commissioner of Police has to advise herself first if she's interested to keep her job. If she's interested to keep her job, then she should work within the ambit of those that want to direct her. She should work within the ambit of the directives from the IG. She should work within the ambit of the directive of the state government. She should try to harmonize all the instruction and find herself in a position of compliance. If she wants to keep her sanity and don't care about her job, then she has to come out of her hole. She has to, one, call together the private security community in that state where she finds herself. She has to call together the traditional community in that state. When I say traditional community, I mean the Ohaneze Ndigbo in that state. I mean the Yoruba traditional hierarchy. I mean the Mieti Allah. She must have that mediation and that skill of conciliation to call them together. This is the time to talk. It is not the time to throw fire, because whatever she does right now as a police officer, it may seem to be one-sided. If anybody is placed under arrest, that arrest must be made to look like an invitation in order not to create anarchy and cause undue disharmony. So, for the issue of what is happening in that area right now, let me tell you something, sir. I know that some people will not like to say this kind of things, but I will say it. Now, number one, every of the youth community in that area, they should remember the first 5 days of EndSARS. They should remember that first 5 days generated a lot of international attention. It generated a lot of harmony within the youths. The youth community could brazenly show their oneness, and their pains were expressed. Then the government took it upon itself to take care of them. And that was why you began to see the pockets of violence. You saw those boys in Abuja attacking the EndSARS. You saw them in Lagos here. You saw where the EndSARS project entered into anarchy and violence. Now, if you want to look at the issues in the East, in the West, it is not in the hands of the youths. All of those people that you see that are making noise there, either they are sent or they are expressing genuine grievances. Now, if you are expressing genuine grievances, you need to use the architecture of honesty. You need to use the architecture of the law. Because once you go out of the law to express grievances, it is an opportunity for government to clamp down on you. It's an opportunity for criminals to hijack that your honest expression and go haywire. So if you are expressing genuine grievances, you can use the architecture of the law. But in Nigeria today, before you will get the attention of the architecture of the law, before you will get the attention of the government, you must first go haywire. Like that guy has gone haywire, a lot of people will be interested to discuss with him right now. And you remember how they handled the OPC situation, how they finally gave OPC some of the pipelines to begin to protect. You remember how they sent, this man went to school and began to hold position. You remember the East, in the East, all the bodies that have come out to make noise in the East. Everyone that have not used the architecture of the law is going to have problem. Now, what is the architecture of the law? The main cross of this issue is one tribe taking advantage of others. It's not only the Yorubas, it's one tribe taking advantage of the others in the guise of an agricultural environment, economy, activity. So if you want to really grasp those that will talk about it, you must look at those that instituted the current government. You must look at those people that can manipulate the current government. You must look at those people that a word of mouth from them can instigate a national violence. Why are those people silent? Where were the people that use their resources, their clout, their finances to bring in this current government? Why are they not talking? Are they not of the same skin, tribe, and blood of these people being raped in their farms, being killed in their houses? In Kaduna today, you can't sleep with your two eyes closed. And are you telling me that these same people that has the clouds to manipulate the current government, are they not helping to manipulate, to generate positivity? Are we not supposed to push our trucks to a better landing point? Now, if you also try to look at the area of the agencies, why is it that nobody has a say to who becomes the head of an agency? Why? Is there no structure to have the current NSCDC chairman? Just this evening, the Commandant General has petitioned for an elongated stay. And another CG has entered as acting, has been congratulated by the Minister of Interior. So we have a conflict there right now. The military, the Army, Navy, Air Force, the hierarchy of these agencies, they have a structure that is supposed to nominate and present a head whom the presidency will endorse. It is not supposed to be an issue of arbitrary nomination by the presidency. No, nobody is against the government. Everybody is against the abuse of the existing structure that is supposed to deliver governance to the people. So if you don't have the Police Service Commission, the Minister of Police Affairs, all of those bodies coming together to say this should be the next IG. So in the next 6 months, you should be preparing to leave. This guy is taking over. You are not the owner of the intelligence to secure the country. So look at that area. We will now look at the private security industry. That industry has begged, has written, has even you, Mr. Temitope, you have brought documents to this country. Even Mr. Femi, he has brought so many ideas, so many dynamics that should nip a million of all of these activities in the bud. Why is the private security catchment? Why is it being negated? Why is it being abused? Why is it not having the listening ear of government? Why is its postulations not even being addressed? So if you have the private security industry working with a state government and helping to train, harmonize, and utilize the wealth of opportunities to counter insecurity in a state, why is that angle abused? So putting all of these things together, you will see that it is our nakedness that have exposed all of this. The educational system, the corruption, and the aggrandizement of all of these hooligans and area boys into positions of authority. And we are where we are today because of what we did yesterday.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Roy, because you've more or less hit it on the nail that our negligence has brought us to where we are. And at this point, let me bring in Mr. Femi Aratokun, because you know, a lot of security personnel are losing their life because of negligence, especially in this season of COVID-19. You are working in the front line. If you have any advice, you know, to security personnel like yourself, what would be your advice to them during this season of COVID-19? Should they be, you know, should they continue working as normal, or should they make sure that their PPE is complete? Should they go for the jab? I've heard many people say, you know, you need the jab if you are in the front line. What is your view on this?
You see, Mr. Tope, thank you for having me once again.
Mr. Femi.
Yeah, thank you for having me once again. Let me be clear to you on this issue. During the EndSARS, or before the EndSARS, I was in Nigeria and I saw things myself. Before the EndSARS crisis started, we had this lockdown in Nigeria, and we can see the behavior of our police officers. We can see the way they're actually communicating with the member of public, and we can see the way they are dealing with the member of public. Okay, let us leave all that away. If you want our police officers to work, do we have any welfare management for them to cater for their well-being? The answer is no. I can tell you for a fact that out of the whole 300 to 400,000 police officers we have in Nigeria, if we have 10,000 of them being tested for COVID-19, then that's going to be a miracle. Because I believe none of them seems to have been tested, or perhaps maybe if they have been doing self-medication and local medication and stuff like that. In United Kingdom, let me use where I base as a typical example. Frontline officers, police officers were actually given priority to go for a COVID-19 test. As of last week, as I'm talking to you right now, I have been given the COVID-19 Pfizer jab, which is my first dose, which will come up 12 weeks later to have the second dose. So what am I trying to say? The government of the day is not doing enough to support our police officers. The government of the day is not doing enough to show that, yes, we properly want to care for our police officers so that they can properly care for us. We just allow them to behave anyhow. It is not really their fault. It is the structure on ground. We want people to do things, but we're not kind of like, you know, maintaining good decorum with them. It's not possible. Let us look at our police stations. How many police stations do you think have got what we call just ordinary first aid box? Perhaps maybe one or two. I'm not trying to mock our police structure up, but that is the reality on ground. We want them to go out to police the environment, but they are not properly kitted. No safety boots, no bulletproof vest. I mean, They even use their money to buy all this stuff. Let us give them kudos to that. And we want them to still do the same job, as in protect the country and be a pride of the nation. It is not going to be done. There is no way we're going to have this. So the government of the day must do what is deemed for them to do. But however, they are not doing it. They are only just pocketing the whole money. So if they are pocketing the money, what do you want the police officers to do? They will look for a way to pocket money themselves, which is not even helping. It's not even healthy to the states, to the federal government as well. So we are part of the problems, and we must look for a way to solve it. My own submission of solving it is, yes, I've been coming down to Nigeria. I invest so well into the police by giving them at least free basic training to my own capacity. During the Amotekun period, when Amotekun want to start, before they started Amotekun, I spoke about this loudly on the radio, on TVs. I even gave them proposals, I gave them documents, I gave them ideas. Well, what has it done? Nothing. When Lagos Neighborhood Safety Corps was created, I was called upon by Dr. Abdulrazak Balogun. I gave my own ideas to them. I did everything possible, but nothing was done. We can see that we just have different agencies, perhaps maybe doing extremely nothing. And we want this set of people to protect us. Mr. Tokwe, the answer is complete zero. Ambassador Roy can equally agree with me that we really don't have a good structure for our private security personnel as well. We are only just trying to use our ideas to make sure that, yes, we move it forward. But the question is, are we following anything like international standard or trying to meet up with the international standard? No. The threat of the day is there. Do we have any structure in place to cater for the training to face the threat of the day? The answer again is no. So to me, all these criminal activities we are seeing today is just an avenue that, yes, there is no structure in place. Let us use it against them. So they are using the weak point of the security challenges we have against us. And that is why you see us losing grounds on every angle we find ourselves in Nigeria. It's a shame. It's bad. Just like Ambassador Roy said, nobody in Nigeria today can sleep with their two eyes closed. Not even the president can majestically say, I want to take a walk from Abuja to Gwagwalada or to one of these states freely. It's never done. How is he going to do it? But look at UK. You will see Boris Johnson riding his bicycle to work. You will see so many MPs on the train, on local buses, going to their workplaces. Tell me one of the, councillor or chairman that can jump into any of these BTR buses to secretariat. They can't do it because they are not even putting their best together. So we are the cause of our problems. International bodies can't fix it for us because they have so much in their place. We need to do it ourselves. That is my own take for this. Yes, I'm done.
Mic is off. I apologize. Oh, okay. So I wanted to go to Mr. Sheyi, because like I mentioned earlier, Titilayo has come back to say, well spoken, Mr. Oluwaseyi, Julius, for your contribution. Is there anything else you think Nigerian government should be doing to support the youth? For example, one of the things I would have loved is for the Nigerian police to actually organize a conference or a conference with the youth, to say, okay, you youths, come and give me your views and your opinions. But I've not seen that. If you had the opportunity of speaking to the Inspector General of Police today, what will you be saying to the Inspector General of Police right now? And please, before you comment, if you're watching us right now, please like this page, share this page, let it go viral, let people know that I've got Ambassador Roy with me here. I've got Mr. Femi Aratokun with me, and I've got Mr. Seyi. So, Mr. Seyi, over to you. What would be your message to the Inspector General of Police and even the President? If this video is sent to the President right now, what would be your message to Mr. President right now?
Thank you very much, sir, once again. Yeah, my message is very clear and simple. Number one thing is we need youth engagement, especially in fighting crimes. As you all know, majority of our population is the youth. Like, we have a lot of youth in the country. So now there needs to be like a synergy.
Go ahead. Okay, we're having network problem
between the public security and the youth. So, yes. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so like I said, there needs to be a synergy. There needs to be a relationship between the public, especially the youth, and the security agency. How well does an average Nigerian trust the security agency? So now let me go back to the criminology aspect that I gave example the other time. In a similar climb like abroad overseas, as you know, Mr. Temitope and Mr. Femi, like most of the students studying national security courses, studying criminology in the universities, once they are done with school, or once they are in their last program, they do attachment with like the FBI, police department, and all of that. But in Nigeria, reverse is the case. You have to bribe your way, like you have to pay your way in order to do your like an intern with the police department. Let's say Panti, for example. Let's say Alagbo, for example. Like an average graduate of criminology cannot just say, okay, I want to do an attachment, like an intern with the police department. There's no kind of provision for that. Now, this is where the IGP of police can actually come in. Like, okay, let them target students studying criminology, for instance. Okay, let's say police recruitment. Why can't they give them like let's say 20% of the slot? Like every graduate of criminology is automatic recruitment for them, aside their normal requirements. Now, having said that, if you have crop of educated officers in our agency, like the police, for instance, these are people that have been studying this course from 100 level to 400 level. Like rules of borrow ideas from that did cyber security. Does the Nigerian police cyber security department? The answer is no. So we have all these Yahoo boys on the street. We have guys, we have hackers doing illegal things. Why don't you bring these people on board? They are youths. Why don't you engage them? So my message is clear, like I said earlier. What the IGP of police needs to do is youth engagement. There needs to be like a collaboration. There needs to be like a synergy between the youth and the security agencies. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Seyi. And let me go straight to Ambassador Roy, because you're a very important man in Nigeria, and we all know, the amount of connection and network that you have, sir. What Seyi said, and I know you are their patron. I think there is need for all the security bodies to come together now to the aid of these young boys and young men, our youth, who are actually studying security studies, and actually speak to the Inspector General of Police to say, you know what, why can't even you give these people IT opportunities for them to come and do their IT, because it gives the opportunity to understand the police system. Do you know that in the UK we have what we call civilian police officers? Because I went in to Metropolitan Police as a special, as a secondment for 1 year, working in the Olympic Security Directorate. And I was a police civilian. I wasn't involved in frontline. I was involved behind the scene. I've never heard of the police having civilians working with them, helping them do all the paperwork and everything. That's the reason why things are not even working well. You know, what can we do? Is it possible for us to write an official letter to the IG and for, you know, IPPS, yourself, your organization, you know, because I know you are the PRO of private security organization, come together and say, you know what, bring these young children on board and help them. They are our future. They are the ones that are meant to become the next IG. They are the ones that are meant to become the next commissioner of police. Why can't you just help them? So what is your view on that, Ambassador Roy?
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. You know, for almost a year or so now, you know, we came up with the African Security Forum, where you put together a lot of youths that read criminology, security, and intelligence in the university in Nigeria. And, you know, you sent a letter to me that I'm now the patron and all that. These are the things that make me cry. You know, some people will be wondering, why is this guy so passionate? Why? They have not seen what we see. Let me give you an example. What happened to legacy? What happened to legacy? Why is it that I find myself in an office today? I will just forget everything that office supposed to do, that office has been doing, and it was favorable, it was beneficial to the people. You remember that in those days, before you work in oil company, in a bank or anywhere, you will score 2-1 in the university. Then we poach you from the university, either UI, Unilag, University of Ibadan. You will hear that this guy got a job straight from NYSC. Sometimes when you go and serve NYSC, there is a system in Oceanic Bank when I was in the regional security office, where they retain youth corpers that have strong results and commensurate performance. They retain them. After service, they give them employment letter immediately. What happened to all of those things? After a while, it stopped, you know. Then what happens to the university? After XYZ number of students graduated, how many university has written with the names and their scores and their things they did while they were in school, what they achieved in their IT, where they did IT? How many universities have put that together and forwarded to the Minister of Interior and the NSA and say, this is a backlog and a catchment of intelligent security practitioners. Can you please put them in the immigration, in the SSS, in the police, wherever you think they, after interview, where you think they will have a flair, where they have a love to serve. The universities don't do that. They just wait, you pay your money, you run through the course, you graduate. Oh yeah, go and find your future by yourself. Now, what about the agencies? Okay, in private security, we poach people. If I see a guard in an eatery, in a hotel where I went to, I like the way he performed, I used to tell them, can you come to my office and work with me? Okay, so what stops the police, the army, the DSS, what stops them from going to the university and say, can we have database of your vibrant students? Don't forget about the ones that didn't make good results. Let's take the ones that made good results, because that precedence will encourage others to study and to be professional in class and to attain the necessary result that will attract an agency. So what stopped the agency people? So as I am, as he is, he will just get an SMS on his phone that you are invited for interview in the Nigerian police. in the correctional center. You are invited for an interview in the DSS. Okay, Oga, is this not 419? No. Are you not Mr. Roy? Yes. You graduated from UI. You read criminology. Yes. You graduated from Unilag. Yes. Okay, come to the office. And I will just be in an interview. I will see my colleagues. Oh, they invited you. They invited you. The students in the school, they will study harder to get professional results. They won't bribe anybody. So why can't we do that? Why can't a state governor, why can't he collect the names of his citizens, his state members that have read criminology and security and made good results? Why can't he take it himself to Abuja instead of the documents they are carrying to Abuja to go and make money? Why can't he take these young men and women results to Abuja and say, sir, I need these people in the agencies. This is what they score. Why can't we work with merit? What happened to merit in Nigeria, for goodness sake? So you have this backlog of people with all this intelligence they have read, and they can't deploy themselves into the environment. It's so sad.
Ambassador Roy, I'm going to give you another 1 minute.
I'm with you.
And the reason I want to give this 1 minute, I'll give you one extra 1 minute because I want you to touch on something. You know, part of the problem we have in Nigeria is always intelligence gathering. You know, why is it that, you know, when I was growing up, we know a lot of people that were picked up, you know, by security agents like DSS, and they will use them as spies. Why is it that we can't even pick up some of our students, the security agents, and use them in the north to be spies, to even put them inside, to go and work and get into the midst of Boko Haram or get into the midst of all these bandits and use them as a platform to be able to get an opportunity to get local intelligence, human intelligence? Why is this so difficult? Because we've been hearing of the police, the military, but we've never heard of police intelligence, military intelligence, Navy intelligence. We've never heard of what they are doing. We know we're just giving them money in the budget, but we're not seeing their work. What is really the problem with these people? In 1 minute, and then I bring Mr. Femi in.
Okay, let me tell you about, you remember Ion's intelligence? Ion's intelligence
Yes.
shared an expose that there is tactical recruitment of young girls to act as suicide bombers. That intelligence was shared by Ion's intelligence. And when I saw it, I laughed because it is an opportunity to strategically plot in some of our personnel that can go in as the recruited young people. See, this security that we do, it's interesting. Some people will say you want somebody to go and die. We die every day. Soldiers die every day. Civilians die every day. So why couldn't we have populated that? Why can't we penetrate all these forgiving terrorists that were arrested, and what do they call that? They take them through a process and reintegrate. They reintegrate them back into the society. Why can't we have a situation where those same people, when you release them back, how many of them are working for you now? Don't we know that there are agents working for the CIA and the KGB at the same time? Don't we know? So I don't understand, because if we have this wealth of intelligent youths that are fully trained for 4 years, with all the strike that is going on, for 4 years, somebody read security and intelligence, and he comes out, and you see him doing marketing for a bank, or you see him doing this. You can't use him in any of those fields. You see, Mr. Temitope, I'm telling you that I am pained, and not that my pain is because these things are not being done. It's the backlog of the insecurity situation that we find ourselves, the loss of life that we are now plagued by COVID. We are now plagued by the killings. We are now plagued by the corruption. We are now plagued by bad governance. We are now plagued by ill-equipped security agencies, demoralized security agencies, destabilized security agencies. We are now plagued by people eating people in Nigeria, and nobody is going to rescue us except ourselves.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Roy. Let me go to Mr. Femi as your last word on this. And you know, this is serious. This is serious issue. This is really serious issue. Now, you are here. You know, you I know you are traveling very soon. You know, because you are always on call. You know, in Nigeria and all those places, and you do all this security training and co. So if you have any message to the Nigerian government right now, please, if you are watching us right now, drop in your comments, like this page, share this page, let people know that I've got Mr. Femi live with us here, giving us all his comments, giving us all his view. So, Mr. Femi, if you have a message for the Nigerian government right now, what would be your message to the Nigerian government? You have 2 minutes.
Well, yeah, let me just utilize my 2 minutes very well. The only thing I can tell Nigerian government right now is this: let us change our security architecture. When I say let us change our security architecture, what am I trying to say in essence is this: the way we deliver our training program is completely wrong. We're not doing it the right way, so let's change it. Now, I read and I studied security crisis management. Before we have a war, we have what we call two people or a group of people talking together. Sunday Igboho and the Hausas and the Fulanis started from ordinary communication. If we are not careful, the communication will break down. It will turn to cutlass will turn to guns will turn to property damages and a whole lot of things, and the whole thing will turn to a serious chaos that the international community will start looking at what exactly is going on again. So what am I trying to say? Instead of fighting or instead of raising our guns and machetes and everything, let us sit down and communicate effectively. What we need right now in Nigeria is not all about let us flex muscle on armories and guns or shotguns. Let us communicate. And again, it is now high time for the Nigerian police to now look inwards into, if guns AK-47 can't do it, now let us face science. Science seems to be the only thing right now that can help in bringing harmony into the criminal system we have in Nigeria. Once we're able to do that, I think everybody will sit upright and will sit tight. Thank you so much, and God bless Nigeria. Mr. Tope, I can't hear you.
Mr. Tope, unmute yourself.
Oh yes, apologies. I didn't realize I muted myself. You know, this is technology. You know, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. This is it is great to have every one of you on board, and it just shows that the amount of people that are watching us right now. Thank you, everyone. You know, for being on point on this issue. My name is Temitope Olodo. I'm a preventive terrorism consultant, you know, author and president of Africa Security Forum. I have with me Mr. Femi Aratokun-Ale, who is a member of Africa Security Forum and also a close protection specialist. You know, I also have with me Mr. Julius, who is the Director General of the Africa Security Forum Nigeria, and also a criminologist. And we have with us Ambassador Roy, is our patron for Africa Security Forum in Nigeria. And, he has a security forum, a platform of his own, well known in Nigeria, PRO, of the private security companies and highly certified. So we are going to have this program again. This is not the end of this program, but please, as you are watching, like, share it. If you have any views, send it to us, at africansecurityforum.co.uk. Our email is info@africansecurityforum.uk. So please, look at the strolling, and that's the information. We are here every Thursday, every Tuesday, and every Saturday. So you can more or less join us. If you have a topic that you think you want us to look at, send those topics to us, and we'll definitely look at it. Until next time, when we come back to you, it's bye from me from the United Kingdom and my panelists. I say thank you, Godspeed, and have a great weekend. God bless you all, and thank you very much for joining us. It's a great pleasure to have you all with us. We really, really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.